There you go. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, look at all that. Look at
Look
all
at
that
that. Look at
Wi-Fi.
all the rocking the Wi-Fi. Here we are at PAX West 2025, day 2, 25 of
day 2.
Yeah, whatever. PAX West Team Choice Awards.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna look at some of the cool games that we saw. So yesterday, obviously, we talked a lot about some of the stuff we saw at
Nintendo.
Show the comments. Definitely hype. So we saw Nintendo and some other things. We went to the Mix last night.
Mm-hmm.
We went to an awesome movie last night.
We did.
We'll talk about the other indie stuff, the other games we saw, the other products we saw. Maybe when we get this week, because there's a lot. We saw a lot. Just the two of us. Yeah.
And I'm probably going to see more.
Yeah, he's going again on Monday. So maybe Monday we'll go again. Sorry about the lighting in here. JJ's like, let's just go down here. And of course, it is shitty down here. Don't blame me.
We don't have a hotel room anymore.
Yeah, and the media room is not. Yeah, there really isn't a podcast room here. So
and the smoothie place is over there.
Yeah, we're gonna do our best not to
random
bang the table.
I'm gonna actually start pounding on the table.
Yeah, it's just typical JJ. He just pounds on the table. Anywho, go over our Team Choice Awards right now, and then later this week we'll have another podcast and go from there. But let's talk about Team Choice, Team Chisel, a Whizzles. Is that, I don't know if that's good or not. No one's ever gonna call it that.
No.
We saw 5. What's the 5-hour energy count? A lot. The 5-hour energy count is a lot. We've had.
I had one shot. I had one shot today.
You had one shot today. I had
more
than one.
And a tropical Red Bull.
Yeah, and I had a sugar-free Red Bull. So. Yeah. No, it did not.
That would be uncouth.
Yes. Stay tuned to the panel. Anyway, so Team Choice Awards.
Yeah.
We chose 5 games. Typically, we'll choose 5 things. I should say. We will at PAX East. We choose 8 because there's usually 4 or 5 of us.
Yeah.
Now there's only 2 of us, so we chose 5. And I will say it was difficult because there were maybe 3 that were pretty solid, that were really solid. And then we had 4 others that we were really juggling back and forth. No chairs this time.
No.
But yeah, we're gonna spend the next 20 minutes to half hour, whatever, kind of talking about our favorites. So, one of the ones we actually saw yesterday, and I'm gonna let JJ take over this. So we're both retro arcade fans.
Yeah.
And we saw a retro arcade-ish game.
Yeah. So I was about to say Double Dragon.
Yeah.
But no, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and the Pearl of
Destruction. Yeah.
It is a new from Limited Run 2D side-scrolling arcade beat 'em up in the style of old Capcom arcade beat 'em ups. It's less Streets of Rage, or it's more Final Fight.
Yeah.
Really. In a way, it feels, because it's big, huge, chunky sprites on screen, big, huge bosses, big, huge everything. With standard fare, but it felt good, and that's sort of the most important thing. A lot of them don't feel good. A lot of those old school styled beat 'em ups don't really translate very well these days.
Yeah.
But this one actually felt like it was an old arcade beat 'em up. It had the very simplified moveset, but it was very theatrical.
Yeah,
I think it's the right way.
You mentioned simplified moveset, and there were only maybe 2 or 3 attacks per character.
Yeah.
But they have the jump kick, which is both legs sticking out.
Yeah.
So that's
Side drop kick.
Side drop kick is awesome.
Yeah, really like a torpedo drop kick.
Yeah. So you could be in this build they had here. You could be He-Man and
Teela.
Yep.
And we ended the demo at the boss fight of Lockjaw. We talked about it on the podcast a little bit yesterday. It just felt good. I mean, that's the most important thing when it comes to these brawlers, is that they feel good.
Yeah, right.
I haven't really liked the feel of a lot of those sort of modern versions of these things. So I was really happy with it. And He-Man's great. He-Man's great fodder for this type of game, especially when you think about how there wasn't one of these.
Right.
This feels like a game that probably should have had a brawler. Or any video game, really. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot. There were a couple,
Yeah.
but not a lot.
Yeah, it was. And so, who is it that is it? The Limited Run publishing it.
Publishing it.
Publishing it. Yeah.
I'm not. I have to look up who's developing it. I guess.
Yeah, the developers weren't here. They were in
Yeah.
Gamescom, and they literally sent an update like at the end of last week or during Gamescom. They were updating the game and sending it over. So I think they're probably still over in Europe finishing up Gamescom stuff before they fly back. For all we know.
Yeah. So that the demo that they have here is different than the one they were showing at Gamescom.
Yeah,
which is very
updated.
Cool.
Yeah, based on
It's
feedback.
the Bitmap Bureau.
That's it, Bitmap Bureau, and we
They
know
did
Bitmap Bureau.
Xenocrisis.
Yep.
They're doing
88 Heroes.
that. Yeah, they're doing that next that Terminator 2 game that's coming out
cool.
this year.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Really, it was cool. I liked it. Like we said, big chonky.
That was
Chonky.
like He-Man looked like an action figure.
Yeah, it was. That's a good point. They were very action figure like.
Yeah.
So yeah, He-Man is the one of the Team Choice Awards.
It is.
And then next Team Choice Award. So we don't always choose just games. Sometimes we do choose products, and we actually had a couple products that we chose this time. A couple pieces of hardware. I chose a really intriguing piece of hardware, and this was called the Gametank. And I love to fidget. I love to kind of play around. I've gotten more into not necessarily modding, but like fixing my game consoles. And I used to do a little bit of like modding back in the day and like Arduino and messing around with stuff. But the Gametank is essentially a 8-bit console, and it's completely made by one person. It started off by one person, and about 6 years ago, he said 2019. He's a software engineer by daytime, I think he said, and just started on a whim because it was fun. Putting his
exact words were because he thought it would be funny.
He thought it'd be funny. Sorry, not fun. Funny. Putting together a game console, just like learning essentially. Like he would grab a graphics card or this or chip or this chip and soldering and learning.
That's sort of the weird conceit about this thing is that it is not like. Because when I saw it originally, I thought it was like, oh, it's like a dev kit that's an 8-bit. That's not what it is.
No,
this is original. This is an original console. This is like it's a console. That is like original architecture that he is sort of
completely
bootstrapped in his own free time.
So he's so he started doing it over the years and little by little and kept it. He's like again started off because he thought it'd be funny, but then people really started kind of digging into it and following it and asking him for stuff. And he was open sourcing certain things. He used all open source development software and creates this 8-bit console. And it, we played, what was the game? I forget the name of the game that we were playing.
Well, look it up.
It'll
be an interview with him later.
But it was cool because it's just an 8-bit 2D side scroller with actually some fairly nice animation, the bigger sprites and stuff.
Big chunky sprites again. We're like back in the era of chunky sprites.
Yeah, so it was like an NES game to the point where it had the red, white, and yellow. It's composite audio video cables.
He uses, and it's like you can tell that he is an old school. Like first, he was a young guy.
Yeah.
But like he has an old school mentality when it comes to the computers because even like the ports for the controllers were old school. Like you would think of them as Sega Genesis connectors for controllers, but they're like PCs used to old 80s PCs used to have those ports for controllers.
It was really cool, and it was 3D printed. We'll put some pictures and video and stuff up there.
And he like sells like. You can like get it like not produced, like you can just get the boards and stuff, and he's got a unified like system. So like you make a game for the Gametank, and it's a Gametank game. It's not an NES game that you ported or like that you started working on an NES game and like converted it to a Gametank game. You're developing Gametank games. It's really cool. It's really trying to be its own game console. And he's done game jams, he said.
He's done he sponsors some game jams, put some stuff together. And he has his Kickstarter is gonna be going up, I think at some point soon, he said. But he only puts because he builds these consoles by himself in his basement, he said he's 3D printing these the case, 3D printing the I think he has a supplier doing some of the 3D printing, the controllers, and he's literally putting everything together himself. He developed his own game. It's interesting to me because there are only like I don't know how many there are. There's not like thousands of these out in the wild. There's maybe dozens out in the wild at most. And he's created a game solely for the people that have this, and I find that super fascinating. But he also has other developers that are like he had his game there that he had created. He's created other games too, but then he had developer games as well on the other side of the booth, and he's got this thriving community of people who just love to develop for this thing, and it's just a cool little basic game console, 8-bit game console, and I love the idea of it. And again, completely open source. And he's going to start ramping up, and he said he had some things figured out for somewhat mass producing. His ideal goal would be like, can I make 128 of these?
You go through the Kickstarter, and however many people order one, buy one, like you have your minimum limit. And okay, well, I know at least 100 people want it, so I'm not going to have a stock of 100 sitting in my house.
Right, and the nice thing about it is when you can plan for that many, you can actually get them made a little bit cheaper. Because right now he's like, I'm not making any money on these things. I'm not really losing money, but I'm definitely not making money because everything is just at cost. So if he can get a little bit extra, then it becomes a little bit more economical for everybody to achieve this. So a very cool Gametank. He had a blue one.
And a yellow one.
And he had one yellow one and like 4 or 5
and I
blue
wanted
ones.
to steal it.
He wanted to steal it because yellow is your favorite color. Yeah. Very cool. Definitely check it out. Speaking of hardware, JJ also saw some hardware.
Yeah. It's I don't know what it's game.
Game.
Is it just game?
I think it's game. I think it's
just game. But it's G, and then they put in apostrophes, aim, and ended with an E. So aiming as in AIM. So it's game, and it's a light gun.
Mm-hmm.
They actually partnered up with Bandai Namco on to make a modern light gun for modern TVs with loaded on a micro console, loaded with Time Crisis 1 and 2, Point Blank, and Steel. Oh, I forget the name of it. Steel Panther, but I don't think that's right. Yeah. But the second one was never been released in America,
which is very cool.
But it's on this thing, so that's kind of cool that we're getting that. And it's a light gun that works on modern modern TVs, because light guns don't work on modern TVs without very stupid workarounds like the Switch controllers. They kind of work as pointers, but you're constantly recalibrating because it's using gyroscopes in a 3D space. Or like the Wii had like the light bar.
The light bar, right?
Which is just not great. Not a great system for that, because it drifts. It loses track if the light gets a little funny. This is, the buzzword AI algorithms, kind of go at the end of the gun barrel, has a camera in it, and when you boot it up, you have to go through a calibration process. It's like there's targets on the screen that you like fire at 3 times each, and it just sort of zones it in, and it's like creating an algorithm based on looking at your TV and where you pointed the gun at your TV, and it's sort of mapping your TV screen. And I didn't back the Kickstarter. I was interested in it.
You're close. Yeah.
I was close. I was interested in it. But I'm like, I just don't trust it. A lot of people, hardware is kind of a tricky thing.
Hardware's hard. Yeah.
Especially, making me jump in blind for something that doesn't exist. Like these light gun things don't exist. Yeah. So it's like it could be a scam, or it could just be like it's not as good as you're making it out to be. I have no way of knowing without touching it.
But now you've touched it.
Now I've touched it, and it's great. It actually worked 100%. I didn't lose an ounce of calibration. It didn't drift. It's like it worked exactly like how it felt in the arcade. Absolutely throttled the guy that I was playing with.
That's one of the devs there.
One of the devs there at Point Blank. It shocked me how well it worked, because I really expected it to suck. I really did.
They're comfortable. They're too.
I explained that to him. I was like, I didn't know. I've been scammed on. Like Hyperkin has like a duck hunt gun. That works, but it doesn't really. But like, no, this is legit. This is a legit situation. So I think the Kickstarter is over, but like their website will have information on how to get more of that stuff. So I'm interested to see. And they did say that like there's plans for other stuff at some time.
They wouldn't tell us exactly, but they said keep your eyes peeled. and
So-
you keep your ears peeled.
Yeah,
Sweet.
So I'm excited.
Yep. And then the let's see, the other game that I looked at. We're back to games now. I looked at the game, and it was Beatdown City Survivors, and from Sean Alexander, developer Sean Alexander and his team. So the Beatdown City, I really enjoy this IP. That if you've played the Switch game, and there was actually kind of an updated release of that as well, and like a bunch of stuff. It's got these great. I don't want to necessarily say 80s-ish, but there is the 80s-ish vibe, and there's actually like this whole reasoning behind the characters and their connections to the world. And I won't go into all that, but it's definitely a really cool, intriguing universe built on definite issues that we go through. But they're fun. They're fun games, fun universe to be in, to play. And so Beatdown City Survivors takes that and takes the Survivor, like the Survivor style route, right? Survivors like, garlic like, whatever we want to call it, bullet hell like. But
I forget what Sam.
Yeah,
Sam
Sam.
for it.
But so it takes that, but so you can select your characters, obviously, like a lot of those games do. But the really intriguing part is, again, you're in this world that's built on how these characters react to certain situations, and there were a couple levels on display here. I had played the previous version over at Summer Game Fest, and the team had a new level here, which was a subway level, which was a blast. And again, it plays like a lot of the or what you'd sort of expect from that genre, but the twist here is you're doing a lot more. It would have felt like a lot more interactivity with the world, a lot more exploration. I enjoyed like taking down swarms of subway rats, because that's where mutant subway rats are there, right? That's the thing. But there's also, like, for instance, in this one, a subway train would go flying by, right? And it would just wipe out everything in front of it. However, you can keep track of when the subway's coming, because there'll be like the lights will turn red, yellow, green. You can also shut off the train, and you'd think, all right, cool, I've saved myself from having to get hit. No. You will now activate the Rat Queen. She'll come by and kind of take the place of the subway, and then she can become a sort of secret boss in the game. So there's a lot of cool secrets and aspects and stuff that's really tied into this the universe of the game. So very cool. I really dug it. Controlled really well. The visual fidelity was really cool. Again, it kind of has that sort of 16-bit, 32-bit feel to it, which is what makes the game really good. And it just felt like something that I wanted to keep playing. I think I lasted like 9 minutes or so, and got pretty far. Was upgrading my weapons. And again, there's weapons like hairspray. There's a screwdriver or whatever. There's the character I was sort of like a Rodney Piper from was it They Live? And he had and he had a garbage can that he could chuck around almost like Captain America. It was just cool. There's a lot of fun sort of parallels to pop culture in it, and that we especially would grow up knowing. And you can also be a cat. You can be a cat that beats the crap out of people, which is always cool. So yeah, Beatdown City Survivors, a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. And then finally, there's one more game, and then we both agreed on this one, and it kind of snuck out because it was in the PAX Rising area as well. Beatdown City Survivors in PAX Rising. So was this. We were both trying to figure out what our fifth game was going to be, and we thought, this one really, again, we're old heads and we like the old style, but this is something that kind of flips it around, and it was Draco and the Seven Seas. I think is what it's called, right?
Draco for sure.
Draco for sure. I took a photograph of it. I'll let you know right now. Keep talking.
It's a Game Boy Color Link's Awakening like.
Yes.
And I mean that with all of the respect in the world. That is killer.
Yeah,
that
Draco it was Draco and the Seven.
Draco and the Seven Seas? Yeah, no.
Seven Scales. Sorry, Draco and the Seven Scales.
Scales. Wow. Okay.
Really bad. Anyway, Draco and the Seven Scales is the game that we gave our fifth Team Choice Award to.
Yeah.
And this is a Game Boy looking game.
It's Game Boy Color for sure. It's definitely Link's Awakening / Oracles. It's definitely.
It is.
I really liked the boat stuff in it. That worked better than a lot of games have boats. And boat stuff is hard to pull off because most of the time it's just sort of like you pointing this sort of aimless thing in it. The boat controlled like a character, but like it had cannons, so you could like fire off the starboard or port side. There was no straight shot. You had to like point your
angle
ship,
yourself,
like and park your ship, and like one side was a normal cannonball and the other side was like a big boy cannonball, and like you can use it to like blast debris that was blocking a path, and then you make dock, and then you can start return your adventure and stuff. And everything has like everything, it's pirate speak too, because it's a pirate game, so it's like, yar, found the key kind of thing, which is like, it's great. Like
there's a parrot that can join your team. There are like there are moments in the game where it tries to break itself, right? Because you play it and it's just the typical green and white Game Boy style, right? Green and gray.
Green scale.
Yeah, green scale. But then there's moments where it's like, hey, you can only do certain things if you change the color of the level or change the color of your ship, and so you can do all kinds of stuff like activating different portions. So I'm playing the game, and you start to see these things, and you're like, wait a minute, this is more than just Game Boy. It starts off as Game Boy, but then by the end, you're like, oh crap, this is. There's some really interesting things they're doing with the idea.
Yeah, because it definitely took the idea of the color dungeons. From the Link's Awakening DX.
Yep.
Where it was like it's the same game, and most of the game is still in the green scale, but we've got a color dungeon, and you have to have the color to be able to do any of this, because if you can't see the color, you can't like solve the puzzle. And so it like takes that idea and just kind of ups it
totally.
And it's and it feels like a Game Boy game.
It really does
feel like it's trying to break the constraints of a Game Boy game, which is like I said it with Double Dragon that I played earlier, and the He-Man and everything, where it's like you either have to make something brand new that or like holds to the theming. Like if you're making a Genesis game, it has to be a Genesis game. You can't just make it like, oh, it looks like a Genesis game, because then old heads like us that want to play those things start playing it and start playing it like start playing it like a Genesis game, and it doesn't work because you've added mechanics that would be impossible in a Genesis game or whatever. It's like, oh, no, there's too many colors or whatever. We start to pick it apart because you're telling us you're making a 16-bit game, and it's not a 16-bit game. It's like when there used to be that trend where there was a lot of like, oh, this is 8-bit art, and it was clearly like 2600 art, where it was like super blocky, no different. This
really stuck to the Game Boy idea, like the controls, the feel, the amount of buttons.
It would run on a Game Boy.
It wouldn't, especially when you get the color stuff and start doing some of those. They were like Mode 7 style. So it wouldn't run, but it really stuck to this idea.
Emotionally, most of the time.
And there were like these moments where you're, like the trailer they had, there were like these giant bosses you would fight. Like they would take up more than half the screen, and you have to run from cannon to cannon to fire off cannons at these big, aquatic Kraken. I don't want to say Kraken, but big aquatic bosses. So it's cool. There's a lot of aspects to this that's built in. So it's taking that Zelda Game Boy formula and adding a lot of things that people, not that you couldn't do on, maybe you obviously can't, but that they didn't think about doing in these games. Very in the early years of the Game Boy, and it felt really good. It was. A real nice aesthetic, real nice design. Characters are great. Like you said, the interactions were really fun.
I like me a good pirate game, and unfortunately, there's not a lot of good pirate games. It's like it definitely has the attitude of like a Monkey Island.
It did, yes, exactly. It's a good way to put it.
That was its attitude. It may not be Monkey Island like, obviously, but like it's deriving its humor from pirate tropes, and it does a really good job at it.
Yeah, very cool. So Draco and the 7 Scales. With that, that's our awesome look at our Team Choice Awards. We'll have these kind of write-ups going on individually. We'll have some trailers posted and stuff. But congrats, everyone, again. Awesome show. PAX West is definitely bigger than PAX East. It has a little bit of Shantae energy. PAX West is definitely bigger than PAX East because it's spread across two giant two areas here in the one convention center here. They're not. The two areas here are combined are about the size of PAX East. Let's just speaking, but it's darker because you walk in and it definitely looks and feels like an actual convention. You walk right through the doors and there's just giant banners from top to bottom. The ceiling's a lot lower than it is at PAX East, so it makes the whole place feel a little bit more claustrophobic, I guess, but definitely classic convention style.
And they can hang shit from the ceilings here.
Yes, because you actually here it's multiple levels. You're actually walking on areas above the floor. You don't do that in PAX East. PAX East is the Boston Convention Center, just one big open area.
Yeah,
so
it's like a hangar.
Yeah, and then the other building is the Summit, which is also like 4 or 5 levels tall.
Yeah, really narrow but tall.
Very narrow but tall, and that's where a lot of the tabletop stuff was, and the Nintendo Museum. We talked about that a little bit yesterday.
That was good. We walked by that today, and the line was like around the corner.
It's Saturday. Yeah, it is packed.
Like when we went there yesterday, there was no we just walked in and there was nobody in there. It's like 20 other people in there. I mean, Friday is usually kind of a busy day. Yeah, because and
it's a weekend. A lot of people take the weekend it's holiday off.
Some people will make a 4-day weekend out of it or something. And then there's a music festival going on nearby. Like there's a lot of people.
So today and probably tomorrow might be kind of busy too.
Yeah, Monday's usually pretty quiet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and Monday's quiet. Everyone's kind of heading back, traveling. So PAX West complete from our standpoint. We're going to have more. The next time we podcast it later this week, JJ's going to go again on Monday and try to pick up the scraps of anything else we may have missed. Shout out to the folks, our friends at NoSQL. Shout out to the Varm Chair. Shout out to a lot of people that we bumped into here, the Berserk Studio, Dread XP, like a lot of the folks that we've worked with on different different podcasts in the past and different shows.
Familiar faces, familiar places.
You see a lot of the people over and over again, a lot of good people. Yeah. And bumped into some folks from the Discord. That was always cool. And the parties. We went to we went to the Mix, which we'll definitely talk about. We'll talk about the movie.
Yes.
And we'll save all that for the next episode. Thank you, everybody. SideQuesting.com. Hop into the Discord. We've been posting some stuff in there. We are not getting you any swag. You should have come here. You're going to have to come to PAX and get your own swag.
Swag, Exagermoose.
Yes, Exagermoose. Dolly, JJ, SideQuesting team, PAX West. We're out. See ya. Bye-bye.